some of the people that would highly benefit from this session would be able to join. So we beg your indulgence to please um allow us to kick off officially by 10:05 so more people can join the session. But I just want to welcome everybody. Would jump into introductions very soon, but this is us keeping to time on our end. And we'll kick off by 10:05. Thank you so much. And so we can kick off. So good morning from this part of the world. I am in Lagos, Nigeria. Please, can everyone hear me? Just a quick mic check, mic check. Can you hear me? Can you see me? Give me a thumbs up. Super, super, super. Thank you so much. If you can hear me. So we'll just kick off. Welcome everyone to this session. I like to do a very quick exercise just to know where everyone is joining us from. I know that some of our speakers are dialing in from the UK, so I'm certain that most likely we'll have attendees from the UK as well. But Rapid City, those of us on the call, I'm in Lagos. So if I can get some other Lagosians to drop in the chat box, just let me know that you're in Lagos and that you're here for it. If you're in Lagos, Nigeria, or if you're in the UK, super, super, super nice. Okay. Okay, I like the vibe of the audience. Okay, so welcome to this exciting webinar. So we're discussing major lessons for techies in building resilient, customer-centric financial solutions in an AI-driven world. It's a mouthful, but it would also be insightful. My name is Chidera Muta. I am the marketing manager at Vendor Credits. And just very quickly, Vendor Credits is a supply chain fintech company operational in Lagos, Nigeria, and we streamline credit processing for African businesses in need of working capital financing, LPOs, asset financing, contract financing, invoice discounting, and the likes. And I'll be your host for today as we delve into this very interesting, I would call it intersection of AI, building resilience, and customer centricity in the financial world. Just a bit of a background. We know that customers are increasingly demanding for transparency and speed, right? And they have frequently expressed dissatisfaction when financial services delay access to their funds. Everyone prefers it when their banks or their loan companies or investment companies or even fintechs, whichever one that they do business with, they prefer it when they are transparent, about the fees and other account requirements, and nobody likes it when it's 1 a.m. in the night and you get a text and it's from your bank stating that they have debited for one random thing, right? Nobody likes that. But we are now playing in an AI-driven world. I'm sure that some of us are transcribing this meeting, this webinar with an AI software or something. And, while some of us are optimistic about the many opportunities, that comes with it, a number of us are also concerned, right? Yes, AI comes with a level of efficiency, that it also brings to the financial services world. There are things like faster loan approvals, improved fraud detection, for instance. There's also personalized recommendations, that AI is able to contribute. In fact, at Vendor Credits, we have a proprietary algorithm, that helps us evaluate and score transactions. and also helps us to source financing and ensure financial settlement. And all these are done within 48 hours. And that's the power of technology. That's the power of AI. However, according to recent research, a lot of people are aware of the potential risks that are associated with AI, especially in financial services, because in financial services, you need to prove integrity, you need to build trust, you need to build relationships. And while AI is great, there are certain concerns around trust, data privacy, and potential loss of that human connection, that human interaction and relationship. AI is not able to do that, at least yet. So today, we're looking at how we can build resilient, customer-centric financial solutions in a driven world. And to do justice to this topic, we have eminent speakers. We have a stellar lineup of speakers. I'm sure you guys have seen the flyers. They have deep expertise in fintech, in data analytics, in product management, in innovation, and they are ready to share actionable insights that can help us, build smarter, more impactful solutions for financial services. So whether you are a tech enthusiast, or you're a product leader, or you're a data analyst, or you're just simply curious about the future of AI in finance, there's something for you here. There's a lesson for every techie. So if you know any tech bros or tech sissies that are not here yet, send them a DM. Just text them and say you must learn a lesson. Let them ask you what you mean, so that you can send them the link and you can drag them here. But don't let that distract you. Prepare to engage with our speakers, prepare to listen, prepare to jot down, and don't hesitate to drop your questions in the chat. We'll address it when we get to the Q&A. So without further ado, let's meet our speakers. Our first speaker, very quickly, is Peter Hua Powi. He's the founder of Draco Intelligence Limited. Now, Peter is a distinguished data scientist and business leader based in the UK. And as a certified Scrum product owner and a champion of data transformation, he has a proven track record of leading successful business transformations through strategic application of data, finance, and technology. All right. And he has over 12 years of experience in various managerial roles. Peter has been instrumental in building digital products and deriving actionable data insights, within the fintech sector and other digital enterprises. His notable achievements span from revenue growth to operational efficiency to business development, product management, and he has earned a lot of numerous rewards because of this. Peter's expertise encompasses product requirements elicitation, business process reengineering, data analysis, change management, and the development of digital adoption roadmaps. Peter, it's an honor to have you here. Thank you so much for joining us. Our next speaker is Ogunleye Oluwatobiloba. He is a fintech data analyst. Now, Toby has developed himself in possessing transferable and soft skills. He is result-driven, he is innovative, he's collaborative, he's dependable, trustworthy, he's a team player, and he's open to learning new sets of skills, and he's happy to add value wherever he finds himself. He is dedicated to identifying and reporting defects promptly, working closely with the development and business teams in his establishment. Toby is committed to delivering exceptional results, and he is a developer with a keen eye for details. He has a knack for uncovering hidden bugs as a tester, and as a data analyst, he has a passion for transforming raw data into actionable insights. Toby, thank you so much for joining us as well today. Okay. Very quickly, we have Deji Ogumola. He's the director, product management at North Snow Limited in the UK. Deji is a very, he's a very remarkable visionary leader with a track record of igniting growth across products, operations, and business management. His career has spanned diverse industries. He's worked in financial institutions, he's worked in FMCG, he's worked in transportation and logistics and telecommunications. He has a truckload of experiences that allow him to approach challenges with a unique perspective, and we'll be seeing all of that on this webinar. Deji is a strategic mastermind. He's adept in identifying and capitalizing on emerging market trends. He is he has great communication skills, and his results speak for themselves. He has also spearheaded 25 product development and successful launches. Deji, thank you for allowing us to share your wealth of knowledge and experience. And finally, last but of course not the least, we have Moni Ade Adeniyi. He's a product innovation and business growth strategist at North Snow Limited as well. Moniade is a seasoned product manager with over a decade of years of experience in the financial inclusion, agency banking, and fintech sectors. He has a strong background in growth, product growth management, and he has overseen more than 50 projects and managed hundreds of high-ticket clients, demonstrating a track record of delivering successful outcomes. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but we are excited to have these seasoned professionals and experts who have taken out time in their busy schedules to sit down with us and share in their wealth of knowledge. So thank you so much to all our speakers. Just very quickly, because of time, we'll kick in. Peter, I'll start with you. You are a distinguished data scientist. Can you tell us, and I'm sure a lot of people would want to know, how would you define resilience in financial solutions, and why would you say it is essential in today's AI-driven financial landscape?
Yeah, Chitra, can you hear me very well? Thank you so much for having me. Can you hear me very well?
You will.
Can you hear me very well?
Yes, go ahead, Peter.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you everyone for coming again. Like I said, my name is Peter, and before we jump quickly into the resilience solution of product, I would say I'm a very key stakeholder when it comes to we hear AI. I'm a very key stakeholder. I build AI product. I build product layered on AI, right? So I know how this thing works. So starting with resilience and in financial solution, you say resilience in financial solution is the ability of a system. Let me break it down like a definition of a system to recover from, you call it shock, you call it attack, or you call it a disruption, right? So as a result, it affects delivery or usage by customers. So as someone like a data scientist or someone who's been in this product for a while, one real example I could actually just make it very clear for everyone is about a popular fintech solution or product. I don't want to start mentioning them because of GDPR that I worked with not long ago. So we've been able to develop an AI-powered digital lending platform, right? The essence is to provide ease of banking, ease of lending, ease of credit rating, right, to customers, right? So however, there was a bit of problem, political unrest. Apart from political unrest, there was a bit of let me use the word economic viability, or rather they were attack on the system, right? From this fifth column. So what did we do, right? I'm trying to talk about product and how resilient they could be in order for you to survive in the business. So I led the project. We developed an advanced anomaly detection algorithm. So there is certain kind of transaction you consider fraudulent. So we set a bias lend, what is it called? Like a benchmark, right? So if the transaction does not meet certain criteria, it's flagged up by the AI as what? So as a fraudulent transaction. So we put safe transaction and unsafe transaction into different buckets. So first we did was we built an advanced anomaly detection algorithm, right? So, and the second one is I led a team that built an automated failover system. The essence of the failover system is when this happens, what is the next plan B we could do? So then we also build a robust recovery and backup system, because you cannot be talking of AI, you do not have a backup or recovery system. Databases crashes. The companies, everybody uses databases, and they all crash over and over again. You can hear what happened to some of the banks in Nigeria today. So we build a robust database and a recovery system. Then when this has been done, we use AI to develop what we call user research analysis through NLP, natural language processing, right? So we use all this, and the whole essence of this is to ensure that we are able to build a very strong, robust, resilient system, right? So you say resilient system, you need to be able to break it down. So that's just basically what we've done. So where all this has been done, what we discovered, we found that we have a platform that's able to withstand disruption and continue serving customer as it should be, right? Devoid of bias, devoid of attacks and all this. So this reaffirm rather my belief, or my regalvanize my belief in AI driven initiative and the financial landscape. So talking about resilient financial systems is a whole long thing. Even if we start discussing from now to tomorrow, we still might not be able to do justice to it. But what I want to say is I understand that the integration of AI not only support operational resilience, but also enhance the strategic decision-making process. So yes, answering your question is essential because one, it brings the whole thinking process in a single place, right? It helps businesses able to holistically see what's going on. It helps you drive a business devoid of risk. Even if within a risk landscape, it helps you to plan an exit strategy from within your risk analysis. So it helps you with good risk analysis. It helps you with good de-risking analysis. So this is the essence of defining a resilient solution. You need to be able to have a good documentation process that helps guide you against when this kind of thing happens. It's very essential. And like I said, it's a whole long process. And this is just my experience using or having come in contact with one of these. I will leave the conversation for some other speakers, but like I said, you need to have a very strong thinking process. You need to have a very strong thinking game, a high risk mitigating game, a high risk de-risking game. Like it helps you to plan, and it helps you to come out of any kind of financial inclusion that you might find yourself. Again, thank you. And it's going to be a very, very long discussion. Thank you.
Yeah, I like how you took it from your perspective and how you shared relatable examples. You shared it from your experience. So, Deji, in your experience, just tell us how can financial institutions balance, rapid AI innovation with the evolving needs and expectations of customers?
Hi, Chidera. Thank you for inviting me. Okay, and
Very
thanks for the
welcome.
entire team. Okay, first, let's talk about the customer. What do customers want from financial institutions? Simple. They just want their problem solved, and that's it, right? What AI has now done is to fast track the process, basically. So the process is faster now. And just like you said when you initially introduced the session, that so we have the team scared of AI, and then we have the team um, enthusiastic about the AI thingy, right? So I'm going to talk from two major things that I think everyone is bothered about. First thing is how ethical can the AI go, right? In terms of how far do you want to expose AI to, especially when you're dealing with financial transactions? And are the customers trusting enough to allow you to want to get AI integrated into the financial institution? So those are two major concerns right now. Now, in my experience with the use of AI and integrating it into tools, financial tools, the first thing you need to have at the back of your mind is to know what part of the financial transaction do you want to give to AI, and what part do you want to move to a human? The first thing that we have seen over the time in balancing the AI innovation with customers' expectation, firstly, is that you need to look at the customer value. What are the customer's expectations first from the financial institution? The first thing is they want ease of resolving issues. First off, that's most important to them. They want to be sure that they are heard and the turnaround time, right, or the service level agreements are met, right? And we've seen failures with human, especially with human errors taking place, and introducing AI into the financial institution, especially in the part where you allow them to interact with the customers and then fast track the process of getting the job done, is one good area that we've seen, right? And so you find it in the area of interactions, which is like chatbots or having conversations with humans to resolve issues. And I know a lot of people have concerns about, okay, what happens to the resourcing, the human resourcing side of things? That will the customer support team then will they be downsized? Yeah, I totally understand. However, there are still a lot of part that the customer support team can play, especially in training the AI to be able to interact effectively with customers when they come in. So we need people with that domain expert in customer support to train the AI. So for those in the customer support team, this would be a good opportunity for them to learn how to train the AI so they can retain their job and have that relevance in the industry. Secondly, I think just like I said, it's about the customers. So you need to constantly get feedback from the customers. You have an iterative conversation, feedback sessions. You have your research done to what customers really want, right? Customers want they want improvement in the product, right? What the AI normally will do is to gather all the data, see the user usage over the time, and then tell you what to do as a business on how you improve on the product so that customers are happy. And most importantly, what makes customers a little bit comfortable with use of AI in your financial tools is you as a business being transparent enough, telling the customers these are the limits of what AI can do now in the product that you use. You have to be transparent enough to let them know what they can expect. And that in a way will allow them to trust you, and ethically, because of the data privacy and clause across the world today, not wanting to share too much data. AI also can be restricted to what extent it can interact with the database of the financial institution, because mostly you want to protect um, information or data that can be used wrongly or can be accessed publicly. So ethically, you need to know what to restrict the AI to. Apart from that, I think artificial intelligence is a wonderful tool, and I'm glad it is here at a time like this. I hope I've done justice to the question.
You
Thanks.
have, DG. I like that you mentioned how a lot of people are still skeptical about AI because they're scared that AI is going to take their jobs. I think that's one major concern for people in our generation, I would say. So Toby, it brings me to this question. And I know you'll be able to do justice to this. What role does AI play in creating seamless, personalized customer experiences in the financial sector?
So AI plays a very transformative role in delivering seamless, personalized customer experience in the financial sector by leveraging data-driven insights and automation to meet the individual customer needs. So to meet the needs of numerous customers, but individually. I'm going to be talking on personalized financial services. So under customer segmentation, AI analyzes customer data. A good example is the transaction history, the spending patterns, the credit behavior to create detailed customer profiles. So we have a whole, let's say, organization have multiple customers. So each of those customers can be grouped based on a particular segment or patterns that the AI has already known. People like this category of things. So it's going to create a customer profile just for them. We've got tailored product recommendation. So AI-powered recommendation engine helps to suggest product like loan products, credit card, or investment option based on individual financial goal. So for some of us that don't know what a recommendation engine is, I've worked with a recommendation engine that helps to kind of like tailor or recommend students to lecturers based on their project topic. We've used, or recommendation engines are something that is very key and very important in today's industries, in the sense that we've got movie recommendation industries, product recommendations, that even some of us have come across it without even realizing that we've seen something like this. Has anyone ever wondered why sometimes if you're going through your phone or laptop when you're browsing, you're always getting recommendations for products that you were always seeing it on your feed that you need it, but you never even thought of, you didn't search for it. So data like that, AI has already scanned through some of them and just recommends products like that to us. We've got enhanced customer support, chatbot and virtual assistants. It's not new to us. So AI-driven chatbot, they offer a response to queries, they perform transaction, provide financial advice, and they're tools that ensure 24/7 support while reducing human workload. There's this chatbot that was introduced into UBA around the time of 2018 in Babcock University. I remember because they named it Leo. So everyone was just always going to the bank. There's always long queue and everything. So AI kind of like just helped shorten the workload for the staff members in UBA Bank at the time by introducing Leo, the chatbot. It's just like an AI programmed chatbot that will literally respond to you via WhatsApp. You just need to send it a text that, oh, I want to make this transaction, or I'm having this problem. If to now tell you that, oh, put your PIN, put the details that you need to send it to, and just via text, I could literally transfer money or make any query or even contact the team easily. I don't even have to leave my hostel to just go ahead to make any form of transaction. Another way that AI plays a powerful role is fraud detection and prevention. We have behavioral analysis. So AI monitors user behavior for anomalies, for changes, for unusual spending patterns, and it flags those potential fraud in real time. That's a good example of this is if you've ever tried to log on to, let's say, your Google with a different device or in like a different location than usual, you always receive a message that, oh, someone logged into this account from so place to so place. Is this you? If it's not you, oh, do this, do this, do this. So when AI is embedded in financial service, unusual transaction, whenever it pops up or it comes in, it warns the financial institution ahead of time or even while it is happening that, oh, someone is trying to access this. We've got predictive model. Our algorithm predicts fraudulent activities before they even occur. So I've already said this earlier that it can also be able to just predict that, okay, this system that we have, let's say there's no security in place. Yeah, it can warn financial institution that, oh, there's little or no security in this particular system that is being developed and is at the risk of being terminated or hacked by unwanted or unauthorized personnel. Another way is KYC automation. For KYC stands for Know Your Customers. So AI helps to simplify this process through KYC by automating document verification and identity checks, and it helps to reduce the friction for customers. In what way? You've got optical character recognition. So a good example, we all have phones. If you're using an iPhone, there's a way that iPhone is going to ask for you to, oh, maybe log in to a particular website. You don't have to start giving username or password. Just by facial recognition alone is enough to verify you. So some financial institutions that I've already worked with are starting to look for ways that they can integrate this into their system, where to verify the documents or the identity of their particular users, that they have to like, oh, you just at the comfort of your own zone, they just send you a link, verify your identity, please. And just by scanning your face alone, you're able to get access to whatever system you're trying to log in. And we have improved user experience. So dynamic user interface, AI, what AI does, like I said earlier, most people might not be frequent with using certain user interfaces, in the sense that some people may prefer like phones, laptop, desktop, or something like that. So AI, what AI does is helps to like break down this wall based on the data they've received about their customers, based on the data they receive on the device they use the most. So what it does is to help like create and adapt to the individual preference, while offering like intuitive and visual appealing interface to match the need of the specific users. So AI enables alternative credit scoring by analyzing non-traditional data such as mobile phone usage or social media activity, and allows underserved population to access financial products. So just by integrating AI into their operations, financial institution can offer more responsive, efficient, and personalized experience, enhancing customer satisfaction and loyalty at the same time, while optimizing operational efficiency.
Toby, thank you so much. I love your passion for this because I can see that you jotted a lot of things down, and then you made it very granular for us so that we can understand it. I love it, and I'm sure that our audience can relate as well. They agree with me. So Toby, thank you so much.
Okay.
Just writing off what you have shared, let's talk about overcoming customer trust challenges, right? AI can tell us when someone has logged into our accounts, and AI can do all those wonderful things, right? Moniade, in your 10 years of experience, over 10 years of experience in financial inclusion and agency banking and fintech sectors, and with the growing concerns about AI ethics and transparency, how can financial institutions build and maintain that trust with their customers?
Okay, yeah, thank you, Chidera. So I think I'm happy discussing this time because presently we are building a lot of projects right in North Snow that has to do with AI embedded solution. So it's good we are talking about this at this right time. So I will dive straight to your question. Financial institution can foster trust in so many ways. So the first thing, and I think Digi mentioned that while he was just giving his own thought about his question. So one of those things we need to consider is being open and honest, which is in another way you can call it being transparent. When you are building a system, a AI solution, they should clearly explain how the AI system work. Firstly, you need to, when you are building such, AI solution, the system need to clearly explain how the AI system work. Another thing the system should also do is what kind of information the system collect from customers. That's another thing. And how how you use the system. That's another thing. So that when customer knows these things, they feel safer and more confident about using the solution. So let me reiterate again. I said the first thing you need to put into consideration, the first thing is how the system work, how the AI system work. It should be clearly stated. The other thing is what kind of information are collected using, from the customer end, and how the usage of the system, let me put it that way. All these information are very important and make the customer feel safer and confident about the use of the system. Another thing we need to also talk about, making ethical choices, which I think did you also mention that financial institution must make sure that AI system are fair and they don't favor or harm any group of people. So say for instance, you should not build a system that is gender biased, or probably you should not build a system that cater for some set of people in terms of okay, we are talking about, so for instance, talking about, okay, let me not go to that. So it should be any system, AI system you are building should be fair and favorable for all groups. Now, what this does is this: it helps customer feel secure and safe using, and they feel secure and safe and using your system. Let me put it that way. So that's the second thing. And also another thing is you need to regularly review the AI system. Regularly review the AI system to ensure they follow the law and meet high standards. And the customer, this should be transparent to the customer. Now, with this, when the customer know that the system, the system is follow rules and there's regular audit and compliance, they feel safe using the system. The last thing I will also talk about is for every solution you are building, because in product development, the most important stakeholder is your customer. Every AI solution you are building should be tailored towards the customer. That means you must listen to the customer feedback. You must also, the system must be, designed in such a way that it must showcase the benefit to the customer. And there should also be an open communication to the customer. So when you do all these things, the customer feel comfortable, and the customer, so trust is built and they will want to use your system. I don't know if I've done justice to the question.
Yes, you have, Munyadi. Thank you. That was super. As much as AI can do all these wonderful things, right? Financial services need to ensure that they are customer-centric solutions that this AI in quotes can offer or should be able to offer. And while we are concerned about AI taking over, it's still a human being, a human entity that would need to feed the AI, what to do, and how to respond in certain situations and scenarios. Which brings me to this question, Peter. I know you mentioned some of the things that you have built and all. So there was a recent report by Athena, and it showed that 64% of Nigerians are financially included. But for those yet to be included, how can AI-driven solutions ensure inclusivity, particularly for these underserved or unbanked populations?
Yeah, Chidera, thank you very much. And can you hear me very well?
Yes, we can hear you.
So we're not just talking about inclusivity, we're also talking about foster inclusion here, right? So and I like the fact that Athena has been leading this vanguard, has been leading this campaign in collaboration with the central bank and showing out inclusivity data, who are the undeserved, right? The shock of that problem is our problem. It's more like Africa has that inclusion problem in terms of having a lot of people who are undeserved or people who are underbanked. Or it's been there, right? And I'm excited that Athena is still at the forefront of this vanguard. So something you need to know about AI is what works for me is not going to work for you, Chidera. So I have an OCD, obsessive compulsive behavior as a person. So when I pick up my phone in the morning, the first thing I go to, if I tell you the first thing I open on my phone in the morning, it might be very surprising for you. It might be, there are some people when they wake up in the morning, the first place they go, they check their bank account. If their money is still there, right? I have someone here who does that. I have someone that wakes up in the morning. What he does is go to his WhatsApp message. So there's preferences for everyone. And that's what we are trying to say with AI. AI is so broad that when a single script is out of place, it can target the wrong audience for the right purpose. It can target the wrong audience. You understand? So that is how AI works. So for me, in answering your question, AI solution can play a very significant role in terms of promoting financial inclusion for both deserved and undeserved in Nigeria. Some of the ways, there could be more, but I'm just going to leave it maybe like 3, 4 because of time. So let's talk about personalized financial services. So there's something, these people, what are they called? It tends to check your pension, right? I just wake up in the morning, with my phone number, I'm able to check the situation of, has my pension been remitted by my employer? You are able to check it on your phone. That is a personalized financial service. So AI chatbots and VA, virtual assistant, they can offer tailored services that individually meet your need. Like I said, what works for me is not what works for the other guy, right? So that is what AI does. So someone who is in the village, they just want to ensure that I'm a farmer. Do I have access to credit facility? Has the loan approved? The loan I applied for, has it been approved? Do you understand? They're not really there talking about they want to go and sell things in market. No, they're not talking about e-commerce. So they're talking about something different. So that is where AI is a game changer. It helps you personalize financial services. So an example is a company you all know, like I don't like calling it, but so you can call them Number or Kudi and other many financial services. So they use chat boxes today to help users manage their finances and provide personalized recommendation. I believe every of the unicorns, the financial unicorns you know today in Nigeria or across West Africa, they are really big on personalized financial services. That's the first one I'll talk about. The second one is going to be alternative data for credit assessment. Have you ever heard someone call you and say, do you know that with the credit you use on your phone, with your utility, the rate we pay your bills and the social media activity, it can evaluate your credit worthiness. Most of you have heard that, right? The number of calls you make in a month, the kind of bills, looking at your lifestyle. It can be an alternative data for credit assessment. So the whole of what we are talking about is AI can work without data. AI needs to effectively work. If there's no data, AI ceases to exist. So what's keeping AI in play today in our social life, business life is purely about data, right? So another company leading this is, Carbon. Most of you that pay Carbon, they were formerly called Pay Later. Yeah? So they use this alternative data to assess potential borrowers, offer credit in the worthiness to individuals who may qualify through traditional method, right? This is the second one I'm going to talk about it, which is automated microcredit lending platforms, right? So what AI can do is they can break down the approval process, the wait time process, reducing time and cost barrier associated with traditional lending. There was an issue some time ago in Silicon Valley where people loans were not being approved for a particular demography. So when they deep dive, they realized that a particular demography was targeted by the AI. Maybe, I don't want to say blacks or Asians, they were targeted by the AI. If your loan application comes through and is from a certain demography, it shuts it down. This bias in AI, right? So I'm trying to say that automated micro lending platforms can be made to streamline and work effectively well with AI, right? So this is another way companies can actually bring financial inclusivity to the undeserved and those who are not currently within the banking ecosystem. So another one is localized solutions. Talk about PalmPay, right? So localized solution. If you use PalmPay today, they have different languages. You want to use Igbo, you want to use Yoruba. So there's a localized solution. So someone who is in the village, he doesn't what is much English. You open your PalmPay and you see everything is purely in your localized dialect, right? So that's AI in play. Yeah. AI solutions can be designed to accommodate local languages and cultural nuances, right? So the essence of this is, like what Deji said, to bring the services closer to the customer, because the customer is really at the heart of every business. Then I think the last one I'm going to talk about is financial literacy training. I think today this has been spearheaded by the central bank in collaboration with all banks in Nigeria and every financial institution in Nigeria, they have an obligation to central bank, which will ensure that financial literacy training must be conducted. I don't know the compliance rate from the financial institutions in Nigeria today, but this is something that's being done out there. CBN is leading this. So what I'm saying is, by implementing this innovative AI-driven solution, financial services would be actually customized for people who are particularly undeserved and those who are in underbanked population. But again, AI is data, and more data, right? So thank you so much for this. And
yeah, thank you, Peter. Hold on, oh, you're not done. AI is data driven. I love it, but you're on a roll, so just please, we'll milk you a bit more. So what do you consider as the biggest risk associated with integrating AI into financial solutions, and how can organizations mitigate these risks?
Like when in webinar talks like this, I like talking about use case scenarios, because these are things playing out within your norms every day. We see them every day. So integrating AI into financial solutions offer very improved efficiency. You all know that. Efficiency, ease of doing businesses through initiative like you see cashless, everything a cashless society we are doing today. Advanced fraud detection, in personalized customer services. However, in the whole of this upside to AI, there's also a downside to AI. So there are also risks in terms of integrating systems with AI. When I say integrated system, I'm simply talking about integrating your data, right? Because the day you plug your product to build to AI, automatically AI has access to everything you've had today, your data. So one of the greatest risks today is data privacy and security risk, right? So in Nigeria today, the CBN has been pushing for data banking through cashless policy and all that. But in 2022, there were reports of leaks from major banks, right? You all heard it in 2020. It was a big blow. And you also heard about the NI data breach in Nigeria, right? So NI, where someone can say, I can pay 100 Naira and have data to have Chidera's data, right? I have Techies data, right? I have his NI and everything. So this is one of the risks. Data privacy and security breach is so big that that's the scary thing. Now that's the Armageddon that has to be with data. Yeah, we call it the data apocalypse. So that's the heavy data apocalypse. So one of the ways we can manage this is by robust encryption, right? So if you build a database system and there are no strong encryption, it's a problem, right? There needs to be data concurrency. There needs to be coherency in your data. So another one is robust encryption. There need to be compliance regulation. So every integration has compliance. So you must follow compliance and local data protection laws. In the UK GDPR, there must be protection of data. Like an employer is going to ask me for something, and if I'm sending a reply to the employer, I add people's information I'm not supposed to add, it's a big problem. It can lead to job loss because that is you breaching GDPR, right? So another thing you can do in terms of data privacy is by ensuring that you have regular security audit. This is super key. That the cybersecurity experts, cybersecurity audit are coming in, right? So there need to be regular security audits, right? The second one I'm going to talk about is bias and fairness in AI decision making. I just told you about something that happened somewhere in Silicon Valley where so particular gender loans were being found to be approved and some gender loans were not being approved. What happened? There was a script that was not supposed to be there, that was existing, that was targeting the wrong people. So that was leading to data bias and fairness in. So AI thinks like me and you, but AI cannot think without data. So the data you feed into AI is the data the AI will feed back as a feedback or the usage for the customer. So one of the ways bias and fairness in AI decision making, you can mitigate it is you need to have very robust data set, right? Robust in the sense that you must have access to historical data. What has been done here 10, 20 years ago before I came, what were done, get as much data, more and more data. The more robust your data is when you train your machine learning algorithm. In data science, we say the more robust your data is, the more output, the better your output. If I train an AI model with just 2 million data, as compared to when I train the same model with 1 million data, the output are not going to be the same, right? So you need to use very diverse data set. Another thing you can use for AI bias and fairness decision making is by ensuring that there's algorithm transparency. When your algorithm are giving you good transparent data, it means that it's very strong. Then you also need to do regular bias audit. So I've deployed this data, I've deployed this model into production. It's now being used in the business. How regular do you go to audit the usage? Is this still functioning as effective as we want it to function? Audit, and more audits, right? Then the other way you can mitigate this is over-reliance on AI systems. Yeah, it's common. It's a common norm in the UK that you apply and employer will tell you, see, you're responding to us. We gave you something to do for us. And employers about giving you, employing you, or maybe they're having a recruitment conversation with you and they're saying, we are watching you, right? Ensure that your response to us is not AI content, right? So because we come to realize that even the most intelligent people today are relying so much on AI. AI is doing the thinking process. AI is running the game. AI is at the forefront of all this, right? But like I said, the way you can mitigate it by you have a human oversight, right? So ensure that human checks are in place for critical decision. If you use ChatGPT, it's going to tell you, please, AI are prone to make mistake. For critical data, please verify this decision from ChatGPT. So it's always a disclaimer across AI platform. Another one is AI so don't use AI as your main working tool. Use it as a buffer. As a buffer in the sense that you have the idea already fleshing up in your head. You know what you need to say. You know what you need to do. AI is just to help your thinking process, right? Another thing you also need to do is education and training. So when people over-rely on AI and IT systems, it reduces your thinking process. So one of the way we mitigate it in business is by using education and training. So another one today is another problem we are having with over-reliance on AI is technological failure and systemic risk. For those of you that were in the UK, you all understood what happened. Is it 2 weeks ago or last month? They were generally all the banks crumbled, everything crumbled. And I was like, what the hell happened? And what we are hearing is there's a software, a company that's using a core banking software that nearly all core banking app in the world are plugged to. There was a system failure and shutdown everywhere. Do you understand what that means? So there's a major outage in the world that happened last month, and it's from a particular script someone wrote. People started going to social media. I am the engineer that wrote the wrong script. You hold me responsible. It became a social media brouhaha. But like I'm saying, one of the ways we can mitigate this in the 21st century's redundancy, like what I explained. I'm a big fan of redundancy. Redundancy is backup. You must have backups that have backups, right? I was in Access Bank in Sierra Leone some time ago, and when I went to that redundancy room, my God, if you see the system they have, it's not just what is it called? It's not just Access Bank. They have a whole room as big as a warehouse that has a whole lot of cooling the systems down, right? You need to keep really doing redundancy, have backup system, you have stress testing, you have incident report plan. Where there's an issue, there must be an incident report plan. Who is in charge of incidenting when there are issues with your AI systems, right? So that's the fourth. And I'm going to just, because of time, go to the last one, which is regulatory and compliance challenges, right? So in South Africa, the regulatory body, which is FSCA, what they did was they were actively involved in ensuring that all AI systems, not just in South Africa, but in Nigeria, all AI systems are compliant with financial regulations. Non-compliance could lead to fines, sanctions, and restrictions on the use of AI. So one of the way I tell people is, how do you mitigate this? You must have regulatory engagement. Today, hear that we're going to have, for those of you that work in streamlined banking system, you say the audit system or the risk management system, say we're having a meeting with CBN, we are having a meeting with the regulator. There are always regulatory meetings. The essence is to ensure that these checks are still taking the boxes for which they were meant for. You must have ethical AI frameworks. People know what is ethical framework. Ethical framework is the AI working like the way it's supposed to work? Is it humane? Does this still have a human face? So it must align with local and international standard, right? So then another thing is continuous improvement and monitoring. You must monitor your AI applications every now and then. We can talk of job placement, job impact, but like I said, AI is not going to take anyone's job, right? AI is not going to take anyone because it takes an individual to use an AI. So if we are able to effectively address this through these strategies, and organization can not only mitigate potential downside, but it can harness the full potential of AI. You know what that means? It means to improve in AI, in AI-driven financial inclusion, both in terms of service for the customer and it leads to our GDP growing. Thank you so much.
Right. Thank you so much, Peter. That was very exhaustive. I mean, if there are any movie lovers or movie producers on the call, would have scribbled down data apocalypse so that they can make a movie out of it. Well, thank you. You really broke everything down for us. Just a quick few minutes break. In case you are just joining us, this is Tech Economy Business Series, and we are discussing major lessons for techies in building resilient, customer-centric financial solutions in an AI-driven world. All our speakers have been remarkable. They've spoken extensively about how we can build resilience in this AI world, how we can make our financial solutions more customer-centric. Just a quick recap on our panel. Are Moniade Adeniyi. He's the product innovation and business growth strategist at North Snow Limited. There is Ogunleye Olubiloba. He's a data analyst with a fintech background. We have Ayodeji Ogumola. He's a director, product management at North Snow Limited. And our gentleman that just spoke now, Peter I'm so sorry for doing that to your name. He's the founder at Draco Intelligence, Peter Kwakowe. I'm Chidera Muta. I'm your host, and I am the marketing manager at Vendor Credit Limited. If there are any questions, please feel free to drop them in the chat, and we'll be happy to address them. Because of time, Toby, I would start with you again. How do you think AI can help institutions predict and adapt to market changes, to cyber threats?
So,
Peter spoke a bit about it. Did you mention it a bit? How do you think AI can help institutions predict these things ahead? How do you think financial institutions can predict economic disruptions, to enable them remain resilient?
okay, just as one of our major speaker, Peter, said, AI is data-driven. That means it requires a whole lot of data. So AI processes a vast amount of structured and unstructured data, structured and unstructured market data, from multiple sources. And the good examples of these sources are news, financial reports, social media platforms, to detect trends and patterns. At the same time, AI-powered tools access public sentiments and investor behavior to anticipate shift in market confidence and potential asset price changes. So we've got machine learning, which got predictive models, that makes use of machine learning models to forecast market trends, which enables institutions to make informed decisions about investments, asset allocations, and various risk exposures. So another way is AI runs what is called what-if scenarios. So it uses this to predict the impact of economic policies, interest rate changes, or geopolitical events on markets, helping institutions to prepare for various outcomes. Another way is adapting to cyber threats. In what way? AI-powered cybersecurity system helps to analyze network traffics and user behavior to identify potential threats such as malwares, phishing, or unauthorized access before they escalate. Sorry, so before it turns out to the worst case scenarios. So AI flags deviations from the normal pattern, that is anomaly detection. So such as unusual logins, location, or rapid access to sensitive data. So in what way? If it takes like on a normal day, let's say 5 seconds for a user to log into a particular system, and you have this data or this report for like a week or 2 weeks, a month, that this particular user takes at least 5 seconds to log into the system, it brings out, or it flags a situation where it takes them way longer or way lesser than their normal required time to log in. So AI flags situations like this. Under economic forecasting, AI uses models like historical data. Peter said something like this: that's the data that has been accrued in the past. So it makes use of historical data, that's past data, and real-time data, that is real-time input, to predict economic trends such as inflation, recession in the economy, or supply chain disruption. This helps institutions to adjust strategies proactively. We've got portfolio optimization, where AI analyzes economic scenarios to recommend adjustments in investment portfolios, minimizing risk during periods of volatility. Another way is early warning system. So AI can integrate and analyze global economic indicators, so competitive and customer behavior, to provide early warnings. So warnings just before the worst case scenario can happen. So early warnings about maybe potential threats or opportunities, thereby enabling proactive measures. So by harnessing the predictive and adaptive capabilities of AI, institutions can not only mitigate risk, they can not only reduce the risk, but they can also prepare for it. They can also seize opportunities during this period of uncertainty, positioning themselves as leaders in resilience. Thank you.
Super. Thank you, Toby. Muniade, just very quickly, we know the importance or the role that we humans play, in relations with AI. But how do you see the role that we play? How do you see the role of human intervention in ensuring this resilience and this reliability that we are trying to achieve? Muniade. So while Muniade, or do you want to take that?
Oh yeah, that's good. All right. From the question you asked, you're talking about the role of human intervention. Am I correct? Right?
Yes.
On how we deal with reliance and the reliability on AI. Am I correct?
Yes, correct.
Okay. All right. So the first thing we need to understand is AI is a tool. Okay. We need to first have that at the back of our mind. AI is a tool, and this tool feed from data that has been captured over the time. Okay. Just like my other speakers have mentioned here, without data, there's no AI. Okay. So AI basically is feeding from either structured data, which are digits, numbers, or unstructured data, which are text or every other information that is gathered. And then what AI just do is to refine that information and present it to you in a refined way, right? And the data from the historic data, it can predict for you what the future would look like, especially with refining it to satisfy customers' needs. One of the major things that we need to have at the back of our mind is that there sudden events or incidents can happen, right? And the humans who have captured all this data together and then has fed it into the AI tool that is trying to refine this information for you, need to be on standby for crisis management. When an event takes place, for example, one big thing in the AI environment right now is the large language model security. What that means is that there's a lot of cyber attack on the data itself or the prompt itself that was used to create that AI that is working on your fintech solution. Okay. So invariably, let me give a typical example. So you are trying to predict people who in the next, probably in the next 12 months among all your customer base, based on their financial transaction over the months or over the years, you're trying to predict those people who your sales team can begin to target, to begin to reach out to begin to talk to them about probably getting better KYC, or you want to move them from personal accounts to business accounts. So basically, it's predicting that this category, probably out of 1 million customers you have probably like 100,000 that are beginning to do high volume transaction. The AI is checking all this information and it's telling you to get prepared for these people. Then you start building a product that can meet the needs of these people, okay? Probably by giving them some probably smart invoicing services, or you want to begin to offer them probably invoice credit or some other things, or probably cross-border transaction. Now you're building products because of what the AI has given you over the time. But when there is a crisis, right, and probably those kind of people are attacked, or probably your LLM itself, which is the AI itself, is being attacked, you need to have humans at the back of it who are ready to jump in and resolve the problem, right? So too much reliance on AI can be a problem itself. Secondly, is decision making. Now, what the AI will do is basically just give you a recommendation, right? And most organizations that are building products right now, especially financial product layered on AI, is they are beginning to put some level of scoring on the AI's prediction to tell you what percentage you should depend on. So it begin to give you scoring on the accuracy, telling you probably it's 90% accurate or if it's 60% accurate, meaning that there has to be some judgment call from a human to decide, do we proceed with this or do we cut this off, right? So for example, the AI has observed the trend of intermittent transaction in the system, right? On your platform, you've seen that this customer do some high volume transaction and then disappears after some months and come back and do some high volume transaction. And the AI system has seen this trend and has given you a red flag that this person might be a risk to you as a business. And this person is asking for loans, for example. And the credit scoring of that person from your AI is showing high, right? However, the AI is telling you that this is a risk you need to look at. Now, a human needs to take a look at those data. We've seen all the data from AI saying this person is a high volume transaction customer. However, some major decisions have to be made. And that's where the human needs to step in to make those judgment call. And lastly, we need to understand is the ethical side of things, right? Now, the ethical side of things from human is that we know that the AI might look at data. Remember, we said AI is picks information from data only, right? And people who are smart, because right now we all know AI feeds from data, right? And people are beginning to manipulate the data, including the customers who are doing business with you. They understand that you're relying on data to make decisions. So they've seen the trend that, okay, if I'm beginning to do probably a particular transaction at this level and there's an inflow and outflow, they continue to do that, right? They can game the system and then you begin to give them some approvals that will put your business at risk, right? So I need you to, we all have to understand that in as much as technology is improving, human intelligence is also improving also, right? And they understand it. And at that point, they begin to look at the trend and they are building based on the trend. So you're using AI from your financial solution. They have used AI to do prediction of what they need to do in order to score high with you and get away with your money and leave and then disappear, right? So there has to be someone who is also looking at that data to see a particular trend and also begin to say, okay, before the final approval goes up, a human needs to look at it ethically and say, Do you think these kind of transactions are right for us? You need to begin to look at where these inflow are coming from, where these outflow are going to, and then make specific judgment call. So to an extent, we need AI to fast track process, but you need humans to actually do the final judgment call.
I mean, how you've painted this is so interesting. I like how you created hypothetical situations and how you provided solutions to those situations. It just shows the vastness of or vastness of your expertise, right? And I think I want you to answer this question because maybe some people are asking these questions in their minds. But I think you need to speak to what strategies um, that that financial institutions can adopt, to successfully implement AI while they are working towards remaining customer focused.
Okay. All right. Thank you. So first off, there has to be this continuous learning of your on your data. All right. So we totally understand that you can see the numbers, right? And then you can make decisions. AI can make those decisions for you, but that shouldn't be the final leg, right? Um, all financial institutions who would like to embed artificial intelligence in their solution need to begin to do massive hiring of people to train their AI and train their data. You need to get people behind the scene who begin to look at information and begin to create a million scenarios or a billion scenarios, right? In data assumption, what things will look like. So basically, let me give a typical example. So now you've seen that you are into loans, right? And you've started to study the trend that probably the returns are default are increasing, returns are high, and as a business, you're trying to see what other new product you need to jump into in order for you to um, still keep your customers and also be high on revenue. Right. One of the major things that you will need to do is to learn from your existing customers, right? You need to look for ways to begin to build build data or build your AI to help you to build data for you to understand what should be the next trend of product you need to hand over to them, right? So your strategy should be to hire a lot of people, right? People who are beginning to get skilled on AI training right now, and that is training the data, right? Creating assumptions and beginning to capture those assumptions without using it first. You need to get those trainers in place. Now they need to start training those data for you, and you need over a billion scenarios, right? AI can also help you create those scenarios, but you need someone to fine tune and look at it also. That's the first thing you need to look at. The second strategy is on security. Now, um, you need to also begin to look at large language model security experts. Um, I know that we've heard of cyber security, but right now there's the LLM cyber security guys right now. These are people who are beginning to build their skill. I know these are new jobs. I know we all know these are new jobs that never existed probably like 5 years ago or 2 years ago, right? People are getting skilled in those areas. I need to begin to think of hiring those people to begin to do the LLM security for you, to begin to create scenarios that cyber attackers can use to game your system and get into your system to get the information you're building and then use it against you. You need to start getting those kind of people to build those things in place. So there is the learning of your data. You have to start doing the training of the data to be able to help your customers in the future. Secondly, you need to look at the attack, the cyber side of which is LLM security. And lastly, you need to start looking at building your solutions to solve customers' needs. Okay. Some people are bringing AI into their system just to be trendy. Meanwhile, you need to bring AI into. If you don't need it, don't talk about AI, please. So I will advise every financial companies out there: if you don't need it, if it's not a need from your customers, don't get into it. All right. But if you think you want to be ahead and you want to stay ahead in the game, and you need to bring AI, you need to ask yourself, what level do we need AI? Is it on customer support? Is it for predictive analysis on who to give loans to, or who to, or the kind of new product to build? Is it in the area of simplifying your reports? Is it in the area of business intelligence? Probably just getting intelligence from all the information you're gathering. Is it for user research and for analysis? You need to ask yourself, which area do I want to play? And the area that you're comfortable playing with, stay with it, right? And make sure that it is solving that particular your customer's needs. Don't build it just for building's sake. Don't invest in AI and then someone attacks and then you lose everything. Okay. And so those strategies need to be put in place in order for you to have successful embedded AI solutions in your product.
Thank you so much, DJ. So define and refine, really. If you know that you do not need AI infused in your services, please don't do it. Don't, except if it's what your customers are asking for or you've seen there is a need for it. Okay, so this is a very good time to send in your questions. We'll be addressing them soon. We can see one question, I would ask it. But before then, Peter, share with us, how can financial institutions ensure that their AI initiatives are both ethically sound and sustainably long-term sufficient, if I can say that?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
So can you take that question again, please?
So we just want to know how financial institutions can ensure that their AI initiatives, if they eventually decide to create some, how can they ensure that these AI initiatives are both ethically sound and sustainable in the long term?
I think I've answered that in a previous question before, but I'm just going to dive into that quickly. So other speakers, you'll be hearing people say that data and customers are at the heart of every AI product that you build. So you cannot build a product without a customer at the heart of it. So how ethical, meaning how human can they be? How can they solve the problem they were meant to solve? So first and foremost is I'm a data evangelist. I'm a data champion. So the first I'm going to talk about is like what Deji said, structured and unstructured data. You must ensure that your AI is able to handshake enough and a lot of historical data, right? It could be structured and unstructured data. You must put your AI through series of a training process, right? So that's why we have machine learning algorithms. Your AI must be able to learn, right? In an enclosed space, learn the behavior, learn the habits, learn the preferences, ensure that it has so much premises to learn, right? So when all this has been done, you're able to have an output from the AI, right? So if maybe you're training your AI to be more defensive in terms of fending off fraudulent transaction, you should be able to feed in biased transaction and clean transaction, then train the AI on the kind of data you want. So what I'm going to say is ensure your AI has a lot of training processes, training, retraining, and a lot of training with both historical and enough data. When that has been done, ensure that before you make a deployment of such AI, there's a closed user group testing, right? There should be a closed user group testing. Bring stakeholders into the room. Chidera is a user of the product. Mr. Dig is a user of the product. Bring all these major stakeholders into a room, right? Then let's talk about the solution that you've built. Then go back to the product requirement document. What did we say we wanted to build? They start ticking all the boxes one by one. Did we say we want to build a solution that does A, B, C, D? Then when you've been able to tick all the boxes accurately, that the boxes could be the PROD or the business requirement document. Ensure that your product or your AI-driven product has been able to tick all the initial boxes that you set out to achieve. When you've been able to do that, then you bring everybody, then let's test the product. A stakeholder said, I want to see a particular feature, and the features you do this. You should have more like a fingerprint sensor. You should have a voice recognition system. Are they working effectively as it should be? when you've been able to test all the feature, use A/B testing and all the kind of testing you want to do, you've been able to do all this and you've been able to tick that box, then what you need to do now is there's a place for continuous improvement, right? That is where product engineer comes in and every other kind. That you do product improvement, then you stay, and because the thing about AI is when you deploy it, it starts learning on its own. It has a mind of its own because real time it feeds on data. So the more data it's when customers are plugging themselves into the system, you see the AI start behaving in a certain kind. Like, I'm sorry, but I have a baby of 2 months, right? When the baby was 1 week old, there's a way the baby behaves. But right now, her reaction to my environment is a bit different. I'm saying that the baby is learning from my environment. That is like an AI. I'm not saying my baby is AI, sorry, but I'm saying that that is how AI behave. When you give AI access to things, it start elucidating new behavior. That is when regular audit needs to come in. There need to be regular meetings, framework adjustment sessions. Is the AI delivering as we want it to be? So if you follow all these in nuances and every of this protocol, you ensure that you have a system that is both humane, delivery on value, and at the end of the day, it's still a very sustainable system. This might not be all right because we simply do not have, this might not be all, but if you follow some of these guides, you ensure that your boxes are properly ticked and you have a system that works as you say it should be.
Thank you so much, Peter. So because of time, and we're hoping that we can round up everything by 11:30 Nigerian time. But there's a question here that was asked, and I'll throw it to all the speakers. So if you can just if you can maybe answer within 1 minute, it'll be really good. So what future opportunities do you see for AI in transforming financial services in Nigeria and in Africa, particularly in addressing transactional challenges in e-commerce, transportation, and the likes? I know 1 minute is too small, but please try and respond in 1 minute. We'll start with you, Moniade.
Okay, great. Yeah, thank you. So, did you mention something earlier on? And couple of speakers that have spoken here, they mentioned something. So AI does not have a mind of its own. So you have to build the AI to a point whereby it starts resonating based on the information you pass across. So, professionals like us is going to get a point, although people are scared that I will lose my job. But the truth is, you're not going to lose your job. So it's getting to a point whereby a lot of people that are instructing AI, because they know that certain information are needed to get certain response, based on their level of human experience, they begin to give query that will tailor to what they want the AI to respond to them to. So at that point, it is needed for professionals like us to also be part of the people that train this AI based on our level of experience. So by that time, we start creating scenarios. So to answer your question, there are a couple of opportunities in every field. So if you are a champion in the e-commerce sector now, so with the event of AI, then it is time for you to be part of the people that train AI to give response based on human thinking. Thank you.
Thank you, Moniade. Toby?
Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead.
What I would say is that AI can help in fraud detection and prevention. So we all know the fraud rate in Nigeria is up to a particular level that CBN has to do something about it. So AI can help monitor e-commerce platforms for unusual transaction patterns and help to reduce and build customer trust. It can help to reduce the fraud rates by an acceptable level. We've got smart payment gateway, AI-powered payments system can help to facilitate instant and secure cross-border transaction to the point where we don't have to like send money and be waiting for maybe like 2 days, 3 days. I know we've had experiences with sending money over to someone and them not receiving it at the time of need. It just enters, or we receive the alert, let's say, a little bit too slow before we can make a financial decision. Dynamic currency conversion, AI can provide real-time currency conversions for international purchases. We know the current exchange rate you get from this store can be a different one you get from another different store. So AI can help to provide authentic and accurate exchange rate conversion at real time. So it can tell you the exact exchange rate at the time, the one you're looking for, especially when you need it, not it's giving you a simple or triple one. We've got credit-based purchasing. So AI-driven credit scoring system can help to offer instant microloan based on maybe the transaction history and enable more customers to participate in e-commerce.
Super. Thank you, Toby. DG.
Okay, great. I'm excited about this last question, actually. I'm excited because I'm going to tailor it just for Africa. There's a lot of money in Africa, but they have not been harnessed yet. And they are just all over, scattered. And the financial institution can use AI to get this money into the system. And one big one that I have begin to see evolving big time over here is voice over AI. Now, the average person in Africa, I will say, we have a lot of people who are not techie savvy, but they can make phone calls. They make phone calls to their elderly. They can speak over the phone, and I think that's one big one that we need to start investing on in the financial sector, where people who are not financially included can jump on a call and are able to interact with AI for account creation, for transaction, and this AI can do the voice detection to know if this is the right person, can do all the KYC, can do all the KYC, can get all the KYC details, and can also complete those transactions. So I think that is one area that we need to invest in, the voice over AI. There's a data, and now for the AI to begin to talk to humans when they want to get information or they want to do some financial transactions. Over here in the United Kingdom, begin to see a lot of businesses begin to use that, and it basically helps the business to be able to profile people properly, get to people who have some level of disability or people who are not tech savvy to be able to communicate and then get what they want and also solve their problems. Like I said, data is at the bottom of it all, and the customers should be satisfied at the end of it. Thank you.
Right. Thank you, DG. Kita.
Yeah, thank you very much. So tying my response to the webinar, so I think that will be expanding financial inclusion, right? So one of the greatest way AI can drive our impactful future is by expanding our financial inclusion. So let's talk about micro lending and credit scoring. Like I said earlier, we discovered that in rural Nigeria or rural Africa, where banking businesses are scarce, AI can be very transformative in such a way that a farmer named Musa somewhere could just get access to microloans, right? Because of his farming patterns, right? The mobile data he uses and even his social media activity. This could just be little KPI according to DG, right? That could be used to give him loans. He could buy farming seed for the next season without having to visit a physical bank, right? So what AI can do is when we have the necessary plugin, or we have the necessary plugin layer on top of what we're supposed to do as a business, it makes it the micro lending and credit scoring way easier, because someone who is posting exhaustively, you look at the person's social media activity, this person has a bit of money that he can spend. Do you understand? So AI can drive our impactful future by driving micro lending and micro scoring. So another is insurance product. You all hear of the recent flooding that took place on part of the world, Nigeria inclusive. Do you know what happens? So businesses start building product on AI. They look at the weather forecast. It's okay. It's going to rain. So. You need to buy rain, or what do you call? You need to buy flood insurance. I know you've not heard about it, but flood insurance is now a big new kind of insurance in the world. That is what AI, plugging it to the meteorological data, right? Looking at the weather pattern, the raining pattern, the season, to say, okay, there's going to be massive flooding in so part of the world. They look at future data to start predicting insurance product for the future. This is how AI can build or can impact our future, right? So micro lending and also insurance products. So for me, I'm big on what AI can do in terms of expanding our financial inclusion, whether I want to do banking, I want to buy insurance, I want to access loan, I want to do credit scoring, whatever you do, AI can be very impactful or transformative in driving this whole process for you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Peter. Thank you to all our speakers. Because of time, we'll be rounding up. Thank you to our amazing and wonderful audience for staying tuned. I mean, if your virtual hands are not too busy, I mean, we can't see anybody, but if your virtual hands are not too busy, clap for yourselves. Use the clap emoji to clap for yourselves, and also clap for our speakers. They have been very exhaustive in all their responses. It just shows how how vast they are, in their experience, and we're just happy to share in their wealth of knowledge. We are grateful for your time. So there is no doubt that AI is transformative in terms of how it is we relate with our money, how it is that people interact with their money. And for financial institutions, it can help, in streamlining and optimizing the processes. There are things around credit decisions that most of our speakers have mentioned, and decisions around fraud and other risks managements that need to be done, right? And like our speakers have rightly pointed out, AI-driven solutions allow for real-time insights, reducing manual tasks and improving in decision making. But we humans are the ones that feed it with data. AI is data-driven. AI eats data, and it's that data that enables it to make decisions. AI is intelligent, but humans are also adapting and also getting even more intelligent. And I like how Deji puts it. It's really important for businesses, even outside the financial services industry, to begin to think about how and if they want to infuse data into their AI into their services, because consumers are demanding transparency, and they now know how their data is being used, right? The younger demographic, for example, they are seeking convenience, they want their services to be tailored to them. But the older demography are cautious. They care about security, they care about long-term reliability and also convenience. So all our speakers have spoken extensively to defining and refining who you are creating solutions for, especially if you're infusing AI. Trust is built by ensuring that your AI systems are unbiased, that they are transparent, and they align with privacy regulations. Like Peter mentioned, the GDPR, that's the General Data Protection Regulation. But overall, everybody acknowledges the use of and the advantages of AI, especially in financial services. And there is that growing demand of solutions that only AI can help us combat. Yes, human empathy is important. While we are doing, our resourcing and bringing people into our teams, we need to ensure that these people know how to make AI work for them. All right. There's also the importance of adhering to ethical practices. All our speakers have mentioned that and reiterated of how important it is. So thank you, Peter. Thank you, Deji. Thank you, Toby. Thank you so much, Moniade, for your candid responses and how you've addressed all the questions. And thank you for making our time to join this webinar. It is a tech economy business webinar. Thanks to the tech economy business team for this wonderful opportunity. You can follow Tech Economy across all social media platforms, and you can always come back and listen to all their conversations on Spotify, Amazon Music, then YouTube, and other platforms at your convenience. My name is Chidera Muta. I am the marketing manager at Vendor Credit. Again, Vendor Credit is a supply chain fintech company that streamlines credit processing for African businesses in need of working capital financing, local purchase orders, asset financing, contract financing, invoice discounting, and we also have products tailored to corporations. So thank you for having me. Thank you again for joining us, and we'll see you on our subsequent webinars. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you so much.
Thank you so
Bye.
much, Chidera. Have an amazing week. Bye.
You
Thank you,
too.
Chidera.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you, Chidera.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Chidera. Bye.